Hello there, YouTube. Well, I've had a really uneventful week. I have managed to have a migraine that lasted about 2.5 days so far. I mean, it's been a bit shaky. It's one of those things where if you have migraines, you'll understand. You have a migraine, you take as many painkillers as you can reasonably take without overdosing. You sleep for a solid 8 hours. You get up and you've then got a moderate headache. So you then do stuff because you need to do stuff. Like just basic stuff like, having a shower or getting some dinner, stuff you need to do to live. And because you didn't just do nothing for like a solid 24 hours, you then go back to bed, you try and sleep, and the migraine slowly comes back. And that's basically what's been happening to me for the last 3 days. So that's been fun. I have been paying some attention to local politics and national politics. There's been so many different silly things coming about because there always is during an election period. Jeremy Corbyn has now promised to give everyone free Wi-Fi, which is ridiculous. Not as an idea. I mean, it's been done in other places. I believe South Korea and Japan have similar ideas as at various metro areas. He wants to use 20 billion to give the entire country free Wi-Fi for all homes and businesses. Well, it's not free, it's tax paid, because your taxes are going to have to go up to pay for this, so it's not actually free. But I get what he means. Nationalised infrastructure, which I'm all in favour of. Thing is, as soon as he said it, BT came out and said, it's going to cost about 4 times what you're claiming to do this. Like 80 to 100 billion, not 20 billion. And it's going to take 10 years for the infrastructure to be there, at which point, God knows what we'll have moved on to. There's likely going to be some kind of successor to 5G, or whatever the hell that is now. Which is, I'm not even sure if 5G is really all that different from 4G, to be honest. I'm no expert in that field. But we'll likely have some kind of really accessible Wi-Fi technology. So he's going to spend all this taxpayers' money to lay fibre optic cables throughout the country, because the way this kind of system's going to work, he can't just do it in the major cities where it'll actually be profitable and worth doing. He's going to have to make sure there's fibre optic cables going to every small cottage in the middle of bumfuck nowhere in the Outer Hebrides. So that's going to basically end up running a massive bill through, which could easily be spent doing something more important, like actually funding the NHS, which admittedly he has said he will do, but I don't know where he thinks he's going to get all this money. Magic money tree, presumably. Boris Johnson has openly stated that he's now going to defy the EU and refuse to appoint an EU commissioner from the UK, which frankly is probably a good move, because why should we be appointing EU commissioners when we're about to leave the EU? But that's sparking threats that they'll take legal action and all this other bullshit. Like, why does it matter? We're fucking leaving. Grow up. But no, obviously they're going to cause shit. Liberal Democrats are being caught lying about polls. So they've been putting out polls where they're like, the Conservatives on 38, Lib Dem on 35, Labour on 8%. If it's only a 2-horse race, who will you vote for? And then they find out in the constituency they're running those adverts, Lib Dem came a very, very far third. And actually it was not all that close between Conservative and Labour. It was like 40-something% to Conservative and 20, like high 20s for Labour, something like that. So the dishonest and corrupt Lib Dem are being dishonest and corrupt. Tell us what else is new. I have no political home. It's pointless, really, because there's no parties that I can reasonably vote for. UKIP has completely collapsed in on itself. They've now appointed yet another new leader, because whenever there's a leader appointed, the NEC group, who is basically old Tories who were part of like the founding of UKIP, don't like that UKIP has grown into a party with a member base and actually has ideas and grassroots movements within it. They want to basically be more Tories. So when UKIP try to do something that the few, like, I do mean like a dozen Tory elites at the top of the party don't like. They just kick up a stink and then kick the leader out and bar them from standing for positions of authority. So we went from Gerard Batten to Richard Brain to now this woman no fuck has heard of, called, I think it was Pat or Pam or something, begins with a P. No one gives a fuck. She's basically been given the keys to a dead party. It's polling less than the Monster Raving Loony Party at this point. UKIP is a fucking joke, which is a pity, because when it was under the watch of Gerard Batten, they actually had a really good manifesto, which was a nice middle ground between Labour and Conservative. What Lib Dems should be when they're not being authoritarian, corrupt pricks. But obviously UKIP were never in a position of power to actually do anything with that manifesto. Instead, we've got Nigel Farage with the Brexit Party, who have no clear manifesto, no clear ideas on anything other than they want Brexit, and no real understanding as to why they want Brexit. Like, I've not actually seen any clear indication that the people who support the Brexit Party all agree on why they want Brexit or anything like that. So I have no idea what Brexit Party even stand for, with the obvious exception of Brexit. So then there's the Greens. The Greens are hilarious. Some of the things that the Green Party put forward, like they want to spend so much ridiculous amounts of money on environmental policies that just won't work. That if they ever actually had a sniff of power, they'd bankrupt the country in months. So the Green Party are an absolute joke. Thankfully, I'm lucky. I have a local politician I can vote for, because I live in a constituency where there is an independent who is even-minded, reasonably centrist, and actually has realistic policies, as well as being fair for the people. Like, he actually stands up for the people in his constituency. He's helped me directly, in fact, when I was challenged by the Atos services. Basically, they run disability assessments, and they assessed me and claimed there was absolutely nothing wrong with me, despite the fact I had 5 doctor's notes that said otherwise. He was the one who helped me get an appeal through and actually get my benefits put forward properly. Fantastic MP. Would happily support him. If you're interested, by the way, it's very unlikely that anyone from my constituency is actually watching, but if you're in the Birkenhead constituency and you want to vote for someone who's actually going to stand up for the people, vote for Frank Fields. He's the MP for the Birkenhead Social Justice Party, which is a terrible name. On the internet, social justice basically means whacked out extremist. Frank's in his 70s. When he says social justice, he means a party that is for justice and for social programs to help people. That's what he means. It does not mean extremist, pie in the sky professional victim. He actually means justice for people by that. He doesn't care about the internet. He's not on the internet. Well, he's not on the internet like we are. So yeah, that's politics, I guess. Hopefully I'll get something done this week anyway, because this weekend has been a bust for me. But until next time, bye, and I hope politics gets less crazy over the coming weeks or so. See you then.